What's up guys, how are you? Welcome to this new video, and look what I have here. Well, it's dirty. I'm seeing it's super stained. We'll talk about that too. It's the Poco X6 Pro, one of the devices that will sell the most this year without a doubt. It's a device very focused on dominating the mid-range of phones, and we're going to see in this video if it's the best device you can buy for this price or it's not. I'll tell you all the things I like the most and also the things I didn't like and that fall short compared to other devices of its kind. So if you want to know everything about the Poco X6 Pro, you know what to do. Stay here on TechGround. Alright guys, let's get to it. Poco X6 Pro. The Poco is a phone made by Xiaomi, a sub-brand of Xiaomi. These devices are very focused on a target audience looking for competent phones at reduced prices. The Poco X is a model launched every single year, and every year is one of the best-selling phones in this very price range. Before we start reviewing this device, I must tell you that this video is thanks to G-Shopper, the brand that sent us this very phone for us to test out. G-Shopper is a store that has been working since 2007. They are based in Hong Kong and they ship worldwide. Their almost 20 years of experience guarantee that the products you buy will be totally reliable. The shipping is very fast, and they also offer a 7-day return period in case the product arrives and you don't like it or anything. You can return it without any problem. So thank you very much to G-Shopper for sending us the product, and let's get on with the review. Let's start first with the unboxing. We find this black box with yellow lettering, and as soon as we lift the lid, we see that this yellow color dominates the entire box. Of course, we find our Poco X6 Pro, and inside this box we have the user guide, the instruction manual and the like. And we also see that it comes with a silicone case included. We also have the charger, which in this case is a 67-watt charger, and a USB Type-C cable. Let's move on to the aesthetic part of the device, which is a point that really stands out. It's a very beautiful phone, but as you can see now, it gets dirty very quickly. Don't know if you can see it in focus, but just touching it a couple of times leaves fingerprints all over the phone. It has a very nice mirror effect, but keep in mind that if you choose this color, it gets very dirty very easily. The device weighs 190 grams and measures 160.5 by 74.3 by 8.3 millimeters. The button layout includes the volume up and down buttons on the right side with the power button just below. This particular model doesn't have a fingerprint sensor on the power button because it's integrated into the screen. The left side is completely clean, and both the top and bottom edges of the phone have stereo speakers. It has a dual audio output. And on the bottom we also have the USB Type-C port as well as the slot to insert our SIM card. This device does not have a 3.5mm jack, and said jack does come included with the standard X6 model. On the back, the standout feature is the camera module, which is very visually appealing. As I said, I find the color very nice, but if you use it without a case, you'll have to clean it constantly. The camera module has 4 circles, but only 3 are cameras. The bottom right circle is the flash. Now let's talk about the screen. It has an AMOLED screen measuring 6.67 inches with a resolution of 1220 by 2712 pixels, giving a pixel density of 446 pixels per inch. As we can see, it has very thin bezels, resulting in a high screen-to-body ratio of 90%. I really like its screen as it has 120 Hz, which is very noticeable when using different types of applications, navigating the phone, or any interaction with the screen itself. The response is very good, and more devices are now coming with 120 Hz screens, which is becoming much more of a necessity than a novelty at this point. Moving on with the multimedia section, let's talk about the audio, which I find very positive and one of the best features of the phone. It has dual speakers, stereo, both at the top and bottom of the phone, preventing blockages and making it harder to obstruct all the audio outputs when playing music or playing videos. On phones that have only one output, it's easy to block the sound by holding the phone a certain way, but with outputs on both sides of the phone, the sound is distributed much better. Here's a small audio sample for you guys. As for the device's performance, I am more than satisfied. I have been testing many games like Fortnite, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, Asphalt, and other heavy games, and the response has been very very positive. The device has a MediaTek Dimensity 8300 processor, and there are two RAM configurations, 8 and 12 gigabytes. The unit I received has 8 gigabytes of RAM, and the storage options are 256 gigabytes and 512 gigabytes. Since mine has 8 gigabytes of RAM, you can guess that it has 256 gigabytes of storage. Now let's talk about the cameras on this device. As I said before, it has a triple camera setup with a 64 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera, and a 2 megapixel macro camera. The overall camera performance is quite good. It's not the best camera on the market whatsoever, but the overall result is more than satisfactory to me. While I'm talking, I'll show different images and videos I've taken with the phone. One thing I really liked is the image processing it has and video stabilization it also has. You'll see the video I recorded where I also zoom and move around, and the stabilization is very good. Obviously, the quality decreases at night, but the results are still acceptable for this device and its price range. I honestly believe it is rather good. The frontal camera on this device has 16 megapixels and is slightly recessed into the screen. The results it gets are quite decent. I always test the frontal camera by recording a short video during the day and a short video during the night, so here are those same videos for you to see and judge for yourselves. Here's a video test with the frontal camera of the Poco X6 Pro. This is how it looks and sounds. I'm surprised that it can record at 60 frames per second with the frontal camera. Well, it looks good, and I'm moving between sunlight and shade. It looks good, but I can see that the wide angle isn't very wide. My arm is fully extended, and this is the field of view that the camera has. Now it's nighttime, same location actually, recording with the frontal camera of the Poco X6 Pro, as you can see in low light conditions. The fingerprint sensor on this device, as I mentioned earlier, is not on the power button, but rather it is integrated into the screen on the device. The results we get from this are rather good. As you can see, the response we get when unlocking the phone is very good, and it works quite well. The battery it has is of 5000 milliamps, and we can say the performance is quite satisfactory. You'll be able to get through the day without any problems, and on the second day it might last for a few hours in the morning. This obviously depends on the usage that you give it, but just know that with 5000 milliamps it performs well and lasts through the day without any issues. Adding to that, it also has fast charging, and at 67 watts you can easily charge the device completely in about an hour, more or less. Now let's talk about the price on this device. You can find this phone on G-Shopper's website. There are two versions available, one with 8 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage, which is the model I have, and it is priced at $345, which would be roughly 320 euros, approximately, more or less. The more powerful version with 12 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigabytes of storage is 385 bucks, roughly 350 euros. You'll find the links in the description below. In my case, I have been testing the 8 plus 256 version. In terms of performance, the 8 gigabytes of RAM have performed very well, handling all the games I tested without any issues. So the 8 gigabytes of RAM, this version performs very well, and there isn't much difference compared to the other version. Consider whether you need more storage for that price difference. Also, the 12GB plus 256GB version is available in yellow, which for example isn't available for the 8GB version. Well guys, that's it for today's video. I hope that you like it, and honestly, I found this device to be very complete. It's a phone I've been eager to try because every year you ask me a lot about Poco phones specifically, and this one is one of the most competitive devices in terms of what it offers for a very reasonable price. So that's it guys, leave your comments down below. I want to hear all your thoughts on the Poco X6 Pro. So yeah, until next time, see ya.
Ready?